All right. Okay. All right, so I had a very nice but very long weekend. So I, again, as usual, have been looking forward to this all day. We're going to start our practice this evening a little bit slower and more intentional than usual. So we will get into our flow in a couple of minutes, but rather than our first flow being super high intensity as it's been for the last couple of weeks, we're going to kind of move through our poses with a little bit more intention, with the intention of getting a little bit deeper into those poses. So as we take our pause in each one of them, I just want you to think about as we move, how you're feeling, how it feels to take that extra second and notice how your body feels in each different pose or posture. So first things first, I want you to take a second and notice how you're feeling in this specific seated posture, whether you have your legs crossed like I do, or maybe it's a little bit more comfortable for you to have the knees bent and the feet planted wherever you're at, is totally fine because I want you to be comfortable. And then when you get there, I want you to just, like I said, notice how you're feeling, notice if you've got a little bit of stiffness down the spine or in the neck. And then I want to invite you to take a range of motion that might feel good if you have one. So maybe you notice that tension in the neck, so you roll the head of the neck out. Maybe you notice the tension in the low back of the spine. So you give it a couple spinal twists. I want us to take about 4 nice deep breaths, and I want you to just feel it out. Find that range of motion that feels good. Maybe it's just a couple shoulder rolls. And getting moving in there, giving your body kind of what it's been asking for all day. You've got a little lateral stretching here, whatever works. Taking about 2 more nice deep breaths here. And after that 4th, 2nd, nice deep breath, just kind of bringing it back to center, back to that comfortable seated position. And we're going to kind of feel our way nice and easy through all of those ranges of motion that I just mentioned, but we won't spend a whole lot of time in any given one. So we're going to start with the head and the neck first. Big inhale extends the neck nice and long. Our exhale drops the chin to the chest. And then I just want you to roll the right ear towards the right shoulder, and then bring it back through, center down in front, and bring the left ear towards the left shoulder. We'll take just a couple of moments in this one. So try and get as deep of a stretch as you can. We've got about 3 more nice deep breaths here. That exhale rolls us through center. That inhale brings us to either side. Go ahead and take 1 more nice deep breath, even up if you need to. And then that next exhale drops the chin to the chest. And then that following inhale brings us back up to center, that nice long spine. Up next, we got our lateral stretches. So go ahead and give me a big inhale, bring those arms out and up towards the ceiling. Our first exhale takes that right hand down towards the mat. That left arm comes up over top. Now, if you have the range and you want to bring that right elbow down, you can. Or if it feels a little better, you just keep that palm on the mat, take that second there. Nice big stretch here. Next big inhale brings us through center. Same thing to that other side. Our exhale brings the left hand down. Once again, we'll pause here for just a moment. So if you want to bring that elbow down, if you've got that range of motion today, you can. Or if it feels a little better to just keep that palm down, find that. We'll do once more in each direction. Okay, inhale brings us through center, nice and long, up tall. Right hand comes down 1 more time. Nice big stretch in that direction. And then 1 more time to that second side. Our big inhale brings us through center, and our exhale brings us down to the left. Nice big stretch here. This feels good. All right, give me another big inhale, bring it up to center. From here, we're going to find our spinal twist. So as we bring those arms down, we're going to take the right hand or the left hand forward and the right hand behind. We're going to open up. The right hand stays behind. The left hand comes around to the outside of that right knee. So nice big spinal twist here, shoulders open towards that side wall. As we inhale and bring it through center, we're going to bring those arms up long once again. So inhale brings us back through center. Nice long arms, same thing other direction. Left hand comes around behind, right hand comes down in front, hooks around that leg. As the legs are long or crossed either way. And 1 more time in each direction, same thing. Our inhale brings us nice and long through center. Our exhale down to that first side, opens up the chest, opens up the shoulders in that direction. And then 1 more time, big inhale through center. And then we're going to hit that second side, spinal twist over there. Nice big exhale, open up those shoulders, put a little pressure through that right hand. And we've got 1 final inhale to bring us back through center, nice long arms. And then our exhale circles them down and around. Okay, so from here, we're gonna do a little chest opening to a big stretch. So I want you to go ahead and keep those legs long out in front if they were not already. From here, you're just kind of gonna flow with the pace of your breath. So as you inhale, I want you to walk those palms behind the hips, open up through the chest, pull the shoulder blades together. As you exhale, I want you to walk those hands forward, over towards those toes, and find that nice big forward fold, big stretch through the back of those legs. Just here moving again, kind of at your pace. So that inhale brings us up and open through the chest, and that exhale folds us forward. So as always, if you're moving a little bit faster or slower than me in this one, I want you to just take it at your own pace, finding a couple of these. Maybe you pause for an extra second in either direction if one or the other feels good, or maybe both feel good, so you take an extra second in both directions. And giving me about 4 more nice deep breaths here in this range of motion. So keeping it going for just a little longer. And allowing this time, once again, like I said, to notice how you're feeling, notice how the legs feel as you find this stretch, notice how the shoulders and the chest feel as you open up, and noticing how really filling up with that breath feels. Give me one more nice deep breath here. Big inhale opens us through the chest, pull the shoulder blades together, and our exhale pulls us forward. Nice big stretch down towards those toes. And then our next big inhale, go ahead and roll it back up to that seated position. Now we're just going to take a few more moments to stretch out the legs, and then we will transition over to that flow to get us started. So for our couple of final leg stretches, I want you to take it out into a little bit of a straddle here. So it doesn't have to be super wide. Mine are just comfortably outside of those hips. With our next inhale, we're just going to find that long spine, turn the torso to face that right leg, and then we're going to exhale to walk those fingertips down towards the toes. Now, I'll give you the option here. If you want to keep that long spine and find that big stretch first, you can. Or if you want to roll right into it and bring those hands as far as they can go with that rounded spine, you can find that. And we'll do this twice in each direction. So if you want to keep that long spine, you can find that stretch this time and then roll into it next time, or vice versa. On that next big inhale, we're going to roll it up from the spine through center, nice long spine. Turn the torso towards that left leg, same thing. You can keep that long spine as you hinge forward, or you can roll right into it, whichever feels good. Maybe this is the same as the other side. Maybe it's a little bit different. That is totally fine wherever you're at this evening. Like I said, feel it out. Notice how you're feeling. Take the posture that feels good for you. Next inhale brings us back through center. One more time in each direction. Find that long spine. Turn the torso to face. Once again, you can just kind of hinge forward at the hips, just finding that nice big stretch through the back of the leg, or you can find that big exhale to round out through the spine. Taking a moment here. The next big inhale brings us one more time through center. Find that long spine, turn that torso, final big stretch here, last time over to that second side. Find that stretch. And then that big inhale pulls us back up to center. All right, from here, we're going to use our pigeon to transition us into our first flow. So all I want you to do to get to that pigeon is just bend that right knee, kind of turn it over, bring that left leg around behind, and bring it up to pigeon. Now, if you need to kind of turn because you're facing the opposite direction on your mat, take a second and transition into it. Right leg is folded right in front. Sit those hips down in between, and then you need a nice big exhale to kind of round into it, roll into it. We'll spend, once again, just a couple moments here before we transition into that first flow. So maybe the forearms feels good, maybe just still up on those palms feels good. Maybe you sink all the way into it, down with the forehead to the tops of the hands. Taking another 2 nice deep breaths in any version of this half pigeon that you need. Awesome. With that next inhale, go ahead and bring it back up to those palms. Curl the left toes under, lift the left knee, and we're going to lift those hips and bring the right foot back to meet the left, just momentarily in our downward facing dog. Taking a second here to just pedal out those heels, find that extra big stretch through the calves, through the hamstrings. And then we've got that pigeon on the other side. So taking that left foot, Bringing it forward, planting that shin down, sinking the hips down in between, letting the top of the foot meet the mat, and taking a second here. Once again, if you need it up tall, if you want those forearms down, or if you want the back of the hands and the forehead to meet. Taking a moment in this pose. Taking one more nice deep breath. And then next inhale brings us back up to those palms. Curls that right toe under, lifts the knee, and then take that left foot back to meet the right, back into our downward facing dog. One final time here. Taking a second, once again, just pedal out those heels for a moment. And then nice and easy, we're gonna walk those feet forward to meet the hands, finding our forward fold. Nice big stretch down to the center. Maybe have a nice bend through those knees as we get started. Maybe you're just kind of hanging out here for a moment. And then our next inhale is gonna roll us up to standing, nice and tall. And this is where we will start that flow this evening. So I want you to find that nice easy mountain pose. The feet are right underneath the hips. We're nice and long through the spine. Those palms either face forward down by your sides or in towards the legs. Pull the shoulders back and down just slightly and open up a little bit through the chest, lifting the head just slightly. Now, like I said, we're going to take this slow and intentional. So with each pose, with each posture, think about how you can get a little bit deeper into it and think about how you're feeling with each one. So our first big inhale is going to bring those arms out and up. We're going to find a lateral stretch in each direction. So go ahead and bring that right hand down and that left arm up over top. Nice big stretch in that first direction. Inhale brings us through center. And we're going to exhale over to that other side. Nice big stretch there. One more time, we're going to inhale to bring those arms back to center, up nice and tall, nice and long. Take that pause here. Notice how that feels to really extend through the spine. We're going to roll down vertebrae by vertebrae rather than swan dive down. So first, I want you to take those hands down and then let the head fall, the shoulders open up and roll down one blade at a time. When you get to the bottom, take that second to find that nice stretch. Maybe lengthen through one leg and then the other. Once again, taking a moment, can you get a little deeper into this? Take a nice big exhale. Maybe lengthen the legs just a little bit more. Next inhale finds our halfway lift. Once again, we'll spend a moment there. So take it up, find that nice long spine, find that nice neutral neck. So think about that neck. Don't lift it up and look forward, but keep it out long. How does this feel as a pose? Can you hinge a little bit further while keeping that spine nice and long? Next exhale rounds into it from there. All right. So we are going to take it back to our crescent lunge. So use those hands on the mat if you need to. Take that right foot, bring it back, plant that toe, lift the heel, and then lift those arms up into that crescent lunge. Once again, we'll take this pause. We'll take this moment here. Think about how long you can get that back leg to be. Now, if your hip's a little tight, maybe you've got a nice bend in that knee, can you lengthen a little bit more? That front leg, can you get a little bit deeper into this, bend a little bit more, and can you lift those arms a little bit higher? Next inhale, a little bit more, and then our exhale folds us forward, plants those hands. We're going to transition from here to our three-legged dog, so if that leg needs to pause, it can. Take the left foot and bring it up. Now maybe you pause for a moment in our downward dog, or maybe lift it directly up and back. Once again, I want you to take this pause. Notice how the arms and the wrists feel. Notice how that right leg feels, supporting your weight. Bend that right knee, and with that next exhale, sweep that left foot back forward into that lunge. From here, we're going to take it to our warrior two. Turn the right heel down, lead with the right arm, cartwheel it up. Once again, we're going to take this time in our warrior two. That right heel is down. We've got about a 45-degree angle on those toes. The hips and the shoulders open up. We're looking over those front fingertips. Can you bend a little more through that left knee? Reverse that warrior, flip the front palm. Inhale, lift it up and back. How does that feel as a stretch? Does it feel a little weird on your spine as we get started? Does it feel really good? Next exhale brings us out to that warrior two. Once again, can you get a little bit deeper of a bend in that left knee? Bend that left arm, bring it down to that leg, that bent knee, and bring that right arm up over top. Now we're going to take a moment in this extended side angle. I want you to think about how the core feels. Is it engaged here? Can we engage it here? Can you lift the elbow just slightly off of the knee to engage that core? Next inhale brings us all the way back up into that warrior two. We're sweeping it to our crescent. One time here, lift that right heel, lift that right arm, both arms come up. Now we're going to use a really brief transition for this first time into our warrior three, and then we'll set that leg down for our forward fold. So I want you to bend that right knee, and I want you to shift forward so that our weight is on our left leg. Now maybe the toe slides as we go, that's totally fine. Extend those arms and just briefly lift that right leg, and then bring it down to meet the left for our forward fold. Extend down towards the floor. Now that's a tough transition. I'll get a little easier so move a little faster, but we're going to keep it slow and intentional for our second time through. Next inhale rolls us all the way up vertebrae by vertebrae, starting with the tailbone, extending up through the spine, and then when you reach the top, the head is the last thing to lift. Same exact thing, we just gotta hit that other side, slow and intentional, same way to think about each pose as we move through it. Inhale, bring those arms out and up. Lateral bending, right arm comes down, exhale as we bring that left arm up over top. Inhale brings us through center, same thing other side. Left hand comes down, right arm comes up over top. Next inhale brings us back to center, super long here. Take those fingertips up as high as you can get them. Bring them down to your side, and then vertebrae by vertebrae, we're rolling down. Head and neck drop first, shoulders open up, you round down into it, and then at the bottom, we come down into that full forward fold. Head and neck are relaxed and released. We've got our halfway lift. Inhale to find that flat back, super long spine. Now think about this. Once again, can you keep that spine long and bring it down a little bit lower? More of a stretch through those hamstrings. Next exhale rounds us back into it. We've got our crescent lunge next, so that left foot is going to go back. Use those hands if you need to. Heel stays off the floor. We inhale to reach up into that crescent lunge. Once again, take this moment. Think about how that feels. Can you lengthen the left leg a little more? Can you bend through the right knee a little more? Can you inhale and lift the arms and the torso just a little bit higher? Our next exhale folds us forward, plants those hands, and we're going to take that right foot back into our three-legged dog. So once again, it can come to down dog first, or you can go all the way up and back. Take that as you need to, down dog, or directly up into that three-legged dog. Once again, does this feel the same as that right side? Does the left leg support you better, the same, worse? Just notice. Bend through that left knee, sweep the right foot back forward, plant it into that lunge. Warrior two is next. Turn the left heel down, lead with the left arm, cartwheel up into our warrior two. Take this moment. That back heel is down. Those hips and those shoulders face opposite. We're looking over those front fingertips. Reverse it. Flip the front palm, lift it up and back. How does that feel as a pose? Different than the first side? Exhale brings us back out to our warrior two. Bend that right elbow. Bring it down to the right knee. The left arm comes up over top, extended side angle. Engage that core. Can you lift that right elbow and keep your posture where you are? Next inhale brings us back up to warrior two. We're transitioning to crescent. Left arm sweeps forward, left heel lifts. From here, we're going into that warrior three really briefly. So bend that left knee, shift our weight forward onto that right leg, and then lift that left foot just slightly if you can. Then go ahead and plant that left leg right next to the right, and exhale to forward fold. Next inhale rolls us all the way up vertebrae by vertebrae, up to standing nice and tall. All right, we're going to keep moving in that. I want you to move at a pace that feels right for you. So if I pause in a pose that doesn't feel great, then I want you to just take it to that next one or take it to something that feels right next. So inhale brings us out and up. Quick lateral stretch in each direction. Exhale down to one side. Inhale back through center. Exhale to that second side. Inhale brings us back to center. And then we're going to roll down vertebrae by vertebrae. So those arms come down, the head and neck drop, the shoulders, the spine rolls down one by one. Inhale to our halfway lift. Nice flat back, long spine. Can you hinge a little bit further forward, keeping that long spine? And then exhale to round into it. Crescent next, that right foot goes back. Those arms lift up. Can you lengthen that right leg a little bit more? Can you bend that left knee a little bit more? Inhale to lift those arms a little higher. Exhale to fold it forward. Plant the hands. The left is going to go back into our three-legged dog. So if you need to transition through down dog, totally fine. Lift it up and back. Find that nice big stretch. Try and keep that toe pointed towards the ground, that hip closed, Bend that right knee, sweep the left leg forward. Warrior two next, turn the right heel down, lead with the right arm, cartwheel up. Take that nice bend through those knees, look over those front fingertips. We're gonna reverse it, flip the front palm, lift it up and back. Exhale brings us back out to center. Extended side angle, bend that left elbow, bring that right arm up over top as the left elbow comes down to the knee. Little challenge here for you. Instead of just lifting the elbow, try extending it out nice and long so that left arm extends out towards the opposite side of the room. Mine is coming towards you with the camera. Go ahead and bring it back down. Inhale to lift us back up to that warrior two. Crescent next. Right hand comes forward, right heel comes up. We've got that warrior three transition. So we're going to shift our weight forward. If you want to take a little pause, you can, or we can meet right in that downward or that forward fold. So extend forward. If you're ready to lift that right foot and find that nice extension, you can. If you need to bring it right down, you can. And that next exhale for everyone brings that right leg down, back into that forward fold. Take a second here, maybe lengthen one leg and then the other. And then your next inhale rolls you all the way up, vertebrae by vertebrae, just standing nice and tall. Here we go, other side. Inhale brings us out and up. Lateral stretch one direction. Exhale brings us down to one side. Inhale through center. Exhale to that second side. Inhale back to center. And we've got that roll down, vertebrae by vertebrae. Arms come down, head and neck fall. Shoulders open, round up through the spine, all the way to that forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Find that flat back, that long spine. Can you hinge a little bit further with that flat back, down towards the toes, and then exhale to round into it. Crescent lunge, left foot goes back, heel stays off of the ground. When you feel stable and ready, you can lift those arms. Take that pause here. Can you extend the left leg a little bit longer? Can you bend the right knee a little bit more? Inhale to lift the arms and open through the chest. Exhale to fold us forward. Plant the hands. When you're ready, three-legged dog with that right foot. It goes up and back. Little pause here. Keep those toes pointing down. Keep that hip closed. Bend that left knee. Sweep the right foot forward. Plant it down. Warrior two comes next. Turn the left heel down. Lead with the left arm. Cartwheel it up and open. Take this moment here. Analyze how you're feeling. Reverse it. Flip the front palm, lift it up and back. Exhale brings us back out to center. Nice and long. Extended side angle. Right arm bends, elbow comes down to the leg, left arm comes up over top. Here's your challenge if you would like it. Lifting the right arm off of that knee and extend that arm nice and long in that opposite direction. So we're opening it up towards that front of the room. And then go ahead and bring that arm back to that knee. Inhale to bring us back up to our warrior two. From here, we've got our crescent. Left arm comes forward, left heel comes up. Just briefly, warrior three option. If you're ready, you can bring it all the way into it. If you're not, brief lift and then back to that forward fold. So shifting your weight onto that front leg, lifting that left leg. Once again, you can bring the left foot right down if you need to. Next exhale, everyone brings it down. We're back into that forward fold. Next inhale, rolls us all the way up, vertebrae by vertebrae. So we make it nice and tall. All right. We are going to take two of those moves up a notch this time. Same option as always. If the up a notch is a little bit challenging, you are totally welcome to keep it right where we had it last time. Next inhale brings us out and up. Exhale down to one side, up over top, nice big lateral stretch. Inhale brings us back through center. Exhale down to that second side. One more inhale brings us back up nice and long. Vertebrae by vertebrae, we're gonna roll it on down. Head and neck start, we end with the pelvis, all the way into that forward fold. Inhale to our halfway lift, flat back, long spine. Exhale, can you fold a little bit further with that flat back? And then round into a forward fold. Crescent lunge, that right foot goes back nice and long. When you're ready, those arms lift. We're in that crescent lunge here. All right, we're gonna find our reverse twist. So instead of coming out of this right away, and instead of opening into our warrior two, we're gonna open towards that bent front leg. So the right arm's gonna come forward, the left arm's gonna come back. We're in this nice twisted position. So a little spinal twist here. Keep that right leg as long as you can get it, and that left knee as bent as you can get it. Next, inhale, tense through the core, bring it back up into that nice crescent lunge. And exhale to fold us forward, plant those hands. From here, we're bringing it to three-legged dog. Left foot goes up and back. Take it up nice and long. Find that there, and we're gonna take this up a notch by finding our hip opening. So bend that knee and open the hip towards that left wall. Now again, if you don't feel comfortable, keep the leg long. If you're ready for this, opening up, taking a moment. Our next inhale, everyone finds that long leg. We bend that right knee, we sweep it forward, back into that lunge position. Turn the right heel down, warrior two, sweep those arms up. Whew, take a second here. I'm gonna catch my breath. Now, we're gonna find that reverse warrior. Flip the front palm, lift it up and back. Next exhale brings us out to that warrior two. Extended side angle. Left elbow to left knee, right arm up over top. Option to extend that left arm forward out towards where the chest is already facing for that core engagement challenge. Next inhale brings us back up to that warrior two. Crescent lunge, right hand comes forward, right heel comes up. Warrior three option. So we're gonna sweep it forward, we're gonna bring our weight onto our left leg. We're gonna lift that right leg. Now, in a second, you can always keep that right foot down, bring as much weight onto it as you can. Challenge option, bring those arms around behind into our airplane. Take a second here. One more inhale so you can lift that right leg a little bit further. Exhale to bring it down to the left. Find that forward fold. Nice work, you guys. My balance is totally off today, but you guys are killing it. I can see it. Inhale to roll us all the way up to standing. Nice work. All right, here we go. Taking it on again. Big inhale brings us out and up. Lateral stretch down to one side. Inhale through center. Lateral stretch to the other side. We'll have a little bit of a chance for a break after this round because I know we've been going. Inhale brings us back. We're going to roll it all the way down. We're going to bring back. I am toasty. I know I need a drink. I'm sure some of you guys need a drink. We will take that time in just a moment. Inhale, halfway lift. Flat back, long spine. Nice work, you guys. Little hinge forward if you can. And then that exhale rounds into it. Opens up through the spine. We've got that crescent lunge, left foot steps back, heel stays up. When you're ready and balanced, sweep those arms up. All right, here's our twist. Opening that left arm forward and that right arm back. Again, you can stay in that regular crescent lunge if this twist doesn't feel right for you today. Next inhale brings us back up nice and long. And our exhale folds us forward. Three-legged dog here, right foot goes up and back. You can always transition through that downward facing dog. From here, option to open through the hip, bending that right knee, opening up nice and long if you've got your balance, or you can always keep that leg long in that three-legged dog. Next inhale, lengthens that leg for everyone, bends that left knee, exhale to sweep that foot forward, plant it down, warrior two. Left heel turns down, left arm leads. As we bring it up, sink into this just a little deeper through that right knee. Reverse it, flip the front palm, lift it up and back. Exhale brings us back out, nice long arms. Extended side angle, bend the right elbow, bring it down to the knee. Bring that left arm up over top. Option for that core challenge, extend that right arm nice and long towards the front of the room, or where your chest is facing. Next inhale brings us back up to that warrior two. Crescent lunge, left arm sweeps forward, left heel comes up. Here comes that warrior three challenge. Same options as before. Shift your weight forward onto that right leg. Toe can stay down, leg can lift up. Once you get there, if you feel ready for it, you can circle those arms around behind into that airplane. You can always bring it right down into that forward fold. One more inhale, and our exhale steps that left down to meet the right, and we bring it into that forward fold. Ooh, nice, all right, awesome. From here, we're gonna step it back to our downward facing dog. So go ahead and bend those knees, plant those hands. Step those feet back, take a nice step in here to stretch it out. Maybe move those hips a little bit side to side. Maybe pedal out those heels a little bit. Take something that feels particularly good here. And then option to stay right here if you'd like to, or option to bring it down to child's pose and take that full break. Knees come wide, feet come together, hips sit back towards the heels. So we'll take about 3 or 4 nice deep breaths here. So I want you to just find that comfortable position. If downward dog is where you need to be, then you can keep it there. If dolphin, down on those elbows, but with those hips high, feels a little better, or all the way down in that child's pose. Taking a couple of nice deep breaths here. Just check on the guns. Okay, we've got a couple minutes left in our first 40 minutes here. So I don't want to get into anything too complicated before we switch over. But I did want to just do a little low flow because we will not be getting into that in either of our flows this evening. It's a lot of standing work. So first things first, go ahead, nice and easy, plant those hands, lift the hips, curl the toes under, and then press it up and back into that downward facing dog. Now we've done a little bit with our 3-legged dog today, so I just want to start our low flow there. So right foot comes up and back, 3-legged dog. Next exhale just brings that right foot back down towards the left, plants it. Inhale for a little bit longer of the spine, and our exhale floats the shoulders out over the wrists. High to low, chaturanga. Next exhale, elbows stay close from the toes or from the knees. We inhale to lift the chest, cobra or upward facing dog. We turn those toes over from the knees or straight up, press the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Same thing, other side. Left foot comes up and back, 3-legged dog, nice and long. Big inhale there. Next exhale, nice and easy, just brings that foot down next to the right. Inhale, lengthen a little bit more. Exhale, floats the shoulders out over the wrists. High to low, chaturanga from toes or knees. We lower down, elbows stay close. Inhale to lift us up, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, turns those toes over, hips go up and back, downward facing dog. Now, option here, instead of bringing the foot down before we float out, you can do that single leg chaturanga. If that doesn't feel comfortable for you today, just take it right where you need to be, bringing that foot down. So inhale, right foot goes up and back. Now here's our option. You can bring that right foot back down, or from this position, we can shift the shoulders out over the wrist. So everyone's meeting that high plank, whether you have that foot up or not. We exhale to lower through our chaturanga. When you get to the bottom, this is where that foot meets the other on the ground, and then we lift up into that upward facing dog. Next exhale, turns those toes over, hips go up and back, downward facing dog. Same thing, other side. This is our last one before we take a moment to switch it up. Inhale brings that left foot up and back. Now again, you can plant that foot if you need to once again, or you can leave it up there. Exhale, floats the shoulders out over the wrists. Nice high plank, high to low chaturanga. From here, the left foot comes down if you have it up. Press it up into that upward facing dog or cobra, cobra. Exhale, turns those toes over, hips go up and back. Next exhale, nice and easy, set those knees down wide onto the mat and sit those hips back towards the heels in our child's pose. Walk those hands over the right side of the mat, opening up nice and long to the left side. Our inhale brings us through the center. Take them over to the left, opening up through the right side. Our inhale brings us through the center. And then nice and easy, let's go ahead and roll it up to our knees, that seated position. All right. Oh, my knees. Okay. Oh, good. All right, so like I said, starting off in that comfortable seated position. So at the beginning of this second meeting, as I know most of you know, because most of you are here every week, and I love that, we're just going to take a couple moments to recenter, refocus. It won't take super long. If you needed to grab a drink and neglected to do so like I did, if you want to grab a quick drink while we get started, you are totally welcome to. And as always, that comfortable seated position can be whatever works. We're just going to take a couple nice deep breaths and find a little upper body stretch. So finding that good posture, sitting up nice and tall, lengthening through the spine, trying to pull those shoulder blades back just a little bit, but keeping the shoulders low away from the ears. Take that secondary scan of the body. So we started with a scan of the body this evening. I just want to take it one more time, just to kind of notice how you're feeling after all that hard work that we did for those first 40 minutes, and that flow that kind of kept us moving. And I know definitely got me working hard, so I hope that you guys felt like you were working hard during that too. So I know that I feel a little bit differently after I do something like that. So just notice where you feel different. Notice how your breath is after that. Notice how your comfort level with your spine is. And same as at the beginning, if you need a range of motion, maybe again, it's that spinal twist. Maybe you find that seated cat and cow. We're going to take about 3 nice deep breaths here to come back to your center, to come back to your breathing. Next, big inhale, bringing it back to that nice long spine. And then we're going to find just a little upper body stretch as we get moving. So we've got our inhale for that long spine. Go ahead and interlace those fingers. And as you exhale next time, I want you to press the palms forward, tuck the chin in towards the chest, and really round out the spine towards that back wall. So nice big stretch here. Our next big inhale lifts those palms up towards the ceiling, nice and long. Big stretch here. And our exhale circles the arms down and around. And you can interlace them behind the back, you can place them behind the hips. Our inhale opens us up through the chest, and then our exhale brings the spine back to center, nice neutral. We're gonna do that twice more through, just like that. You need to move a little faster or slower than me, totally fine. Inhale, nice long spine. Interlace those fingers. Exhale, press the palms forward, round out the spine towards that back wall, nice big stretch. Inhale, lifts us up, nice and tall, nice and long away from the center. Exhale, circles the arms down and around, interlace or place behind the hips. Inhale to open up through the chest, pull the shoulder blades together. Exhale to release. Last time, just like that. Inhale, long spine, interlace the fingers, press the palms forward, round out the spine towards that back wall. Inhale, lifts us up nice and long. And our exhale circles those arms down and around, interlace or place behind the back. Inhale to open up through the chest, pull the shoulder blades together, and then a nice big exhale to release. From here, we're going to transition over to hands and knees. So just do a brief cat and cow before we get moving into our second and final flow for the evening. So take that time to transition in a way that's good for you. You can roll right over the knees. You can bring it around to the side. Whatever works for that transition. When you get there, the shoulders are right over the wrists, the knees are right into the hips. That inhale presses the belly towards the floor and lifts the chest and the hips. And then our exhale rounds the spine out towards the ceiling, tucks the chin in towards the chest, and tucks the pelvis under. So go ahead and flow with your breath there a couple of times. Again, taking it faster or slower than me is always acceptable, especially in these breath-led poses. So kind of keeping it moving here. Couple of times, waking that spine back up. Give me 3 more nice deep breaths in our cat and cow. And last one more time in each direction. And then bringing that spine back to a nice neutral position. All right, from here, we're going to transition to our down dog, which is where our next flow will start. So go ahead and curl those toes under, press those hips up and back. Take a moment here to get those legs ready once again, maybe pedaling out the heels, bringing the ears between the biceps, taking that nice little stretch there. Getting us used to this again. All right, go ahead and bring both of those legs nice and long and press those heels towards the ground. Now from here, in our normal flow, we're only going to do this movement once, we're only going to do it once, but here we're going to do it a couple of times. So from this position, all I want you to do is bend those knees and sit those hips back kind of into like a rocket launcher position, and then just extend back up. So just a couple of times, just like that. That exhale presses us down, those hips sit back, those knees bend. That inhale lifts us up into that downward facing dog. Give me a couple more of those. That exhale presses us down. That inhale lifts us up. 3 more breaths. Exhale presses us down. That inhale lifts us up. 2 more. Exhale down. Inhale up. And then that last one, this one would be the one that we would normally do. Exhale down and inhale up. Now from here, we're going to step or jump those feet forward to meet the hands. So bend those knees just slightly, same thing that we just did, and then bring those feet forward to the hands. From here, rather than a halfway lift, you're going to find a chair. So go ahead and bring those feet nice and close together if they aren't already. Our next inhale sits those hips back and sweeps those arms up. We're in that nice chair position. We're going to find this little hold for just a moment in this one. Again, from here on out, we'll probably move a little bit faster into and out of this chair. Keeping that long spine and those arms up. We're going to slide it back to our crescent lunge. So that right leg is going to slide back, keep that left knee bent, and that toe meets as we lift the chest just a little bit more. So I know that's a tough transition, but you guys got it. From here, we're going to lengthen that front leg. So the front leg lengthens, that back leg is long. We're going to pull forward into our pyramid, but I know with my feet this far apart, this is a little bit uncomfortable for me. So when I bring it down into that pyramid, I'm going to take a second and just step that back foot forward so that I can comfortably plant my foot. If you're comfortable back in this lunge position with that leg long and that forward fold, you can stay right where you were. So we're here in this pyramid position. The front toes face forward. The back toes can face just a little bit out if that heel is down. Front leg is long. We've got that super big stretch through the left leg. We're going to transition into what's called a standing split, but for me, most certainly does not look like a standing split. We're going to transfer our weight onto that left foot. We're going to shift forward, keeping the right toes pointed towards the ground and the right hip closed. I'm just going to lift that right leg through my range of motion. Now, once again, I don't have that flexibility or that range here. If you do, go ahead and find that range a little bit higher. And our next exhale brings us into that forward fold, bringing those toes down so that we are in that folded position. From here, we're going to heel toe those feet out to the edges of the mat. So we're taking them out a little bit wider. And at the very edge, the toes point out just slightly and the heels point in just slightly. We've got our deep Buddha squat coming up next. So I want you to just sit those hips down in between. If you need a little more or less space, you can totally find it. Adjust those feet as you need to. And then from here, the hands can stay down, or you can take a moment to find your balance and bring them up at your chest. Now, after this second round, this will transition us to our crow, but we're going to save that for after this. So our next exhale brings those palms down, lifts those legs, or lengthens those legs. And we're going to step back into our plank position. So bringing it back into that plank, and then from here, we're just going to press it up and back into our downward facing dog. Now, this is, once again, our starting point, so we are back to the beginning. Keeping it moving like that, we've got one of those rocket launcher kind of positions, so our exhale bends those knees, and our inhale lengthens them back into that downward facing dog. From here, we're stepping or jumping forward to meet the feet, to meet the hands. So bend those knees just a little bit, and then bring it forward and step or jump as necessary. From here, those feet are close together. Inhale into our chair. Sit the hips back, lift the arms. Here comes our crescent lunge. Keep that spine nice and long. Lift that left heel, slide the left toe back, and then lift the chest when you get there. You need a second to find that balance. Go ahead and find that balance. From here, we've got our pyramid pose. So lengthen that front leg, hinge forward. If you need to, like I do, step the foot forward a little bit to find that little bit more comfortable position. And take that second to find the stretch through the right leg. From here, we've got that standing split. Shifting your weight onto that right leg, keep the left toes pointed down and the left hip closed, and just lift your leg through the range of motion that you personally have. Next exhale brings that left foot down to meet the right in our forward fold. We've got our deep squat next, heel toe those feet out to the corners. Bring those toes to point out just slightly, those heels to point in. Sit those hips down. Like I said, after this round, this will transition us to our crow. But for this time, if you want to bring those palms together and up for that little balance, you totally can. Next exhale brings those palms down, lengthens those legs, step the feet back into that plank position. From here, press it up and back, downward facing dog. All right, here we go back into it. Rocket launcher once, and then we're stepping and jumping those feet forward. Exhale presses us down. Inhale lengthens us up. Exhale bends through those knees. Step or jump those feet forward to meet the hands. Chair pose next. Inhale, sits the arms up, sits the hips back. Crescent comes from this. Our right foot lifts. We bring it back nice and long, plant the toes, lift the chest. Lengthen that left leg, hold it forward, step the right foot forward if you need to for comfort. We're in this nice big stretch. We've got our standing split next. Our left toes, or our left foot takes our weight. Our right toes point down, our right hip stays closed. From here, we're back in that forward fold. Bring that right foot down to meet the left. Heel toe those feet out wide. Sit those hips down in between. Now, you're welcome to stay right here in this deep Buddha squat, or if you'd like to transition to crow, we're gonna take those hands down out in front so that my knees are on my triceps. From here, my hands are taking the weight of my knees, or my elbows are taking the weight of my knees, so my knees come onto my elbows as I bend my arms. So there's a good bend in my arms, even if you can't see it. And then from here, I just adjust my toes so that they're down behind me. You can alternate lifting one and then the other. If crow is solidly in your practice, you can lift both. Now from here, we're going to transition to our plank. So if you've done it before from crow to plank, you can shoot those legs straight back. If not, bring those toes down, step that right foot back, and then step that left foot back into that plank. Exhale, press those hips up and back, downward facing dog. Whew, I'm sweating. Nice work, you guys. We've got that rocket launcher, and then that step forward to meet those hands. Exhale, presses those hips down. Inhale, lengthens us up. Exhale, bend those knees. Step or jump the feet forward to meet the hands. Chair pose. Inhale, sits the hips back. Lift the arms up. Crescent lunge. Lift the left foot. Take it back long. Plant those toes. Lift the chest. Pyramid. Lengthen the front leg. If you need to step the left forward, do it. And then hinge forward at those hips to find that nice big stretch. Standing split. Weight goes onto that right leg. Left toes point down. We lift up through our range of motion. We exhale to bring that left foot down to meet the right. Heel toe those feet out nice and wide. Toes point out, heels point in, hips sit down in between. Crow if you'd like to, or balance pose if you wouldn't. Plant those hands. Knees go to the back of the elbows. Toes come in. Lift if you can, or just one at a time if you can't. From here, we're transitioning out to that plank. So if you can transition right to here and hop those feet back, or you can plant those toes, step the left foot back, and then the right to meet in that high plank position. Exhale to press us up and back into downward facing dog. Alrighty, awesome work, you guys. From here, we're going to transition it down to child's pose. Knees come down wide, hips come back towards those heels. As promised, we're going to do a brief Shavasana today. So we're going to walk those hands in and roll it up to our seated. And then from here, I want to just invite you to find a comfortable pose for our final relaxation. So for you, if that's your child's pose, you're welcome to bring it right back out to there. Or you can bring it over onto your back. Now I take my Shavasana a little bit weird, so I usually have my legs crossed down on my back. So if something weird feels good, the great thing about Zoom is that no one is watching, no one will see. You can take whatever kind of posture you would like for your final Shavasana. When you get there, once again, I want to invite you to take a moment to take that scan of the body. Now we're in a little bit different of a position than we've been for that scan all along. So maybe this way feels a little bit different with gravity pulling you down or gravity pulling you into that child's pose, or maybe you found the legs up the wall, a little inversion. Whatever feels good for you here maybe feels a little bit different than we felt at the very beginning. From here, I'd like you to take a couple of nice deep breaths. As we inhale, I want you to think about tensing some muscles. So tense through the core, tense through the legs and the glutes, maybe ball the hands into fists. And then that exhale releases and relaxes, either down towards the floor, or maybe those feet come back over the head and crow, or
Plow is what feels good for you here. Let's take that 3 more times. That inhale tenses up through those muscles, finding big tension, and then our exhale releases. Twice more just like that. Inhale tenses up. Exhale releases. And then one final time, finding that ultimate relaxation. Inhale tenses up. And exhale really releases and relaxes, allowing gravity to pull you down towards the mat in whatever direction that may be for your final Shavasana. Taking a couple of moments to consider once again your breath, allowing it to fill your lungs, allowing it to find that expansion through the chest, through the ribs. And that exhale expels all of that old air so that we're making space for new air in the lungs. And I want you to take a couple of moments here, not to get super sappy, but maybe to think about something that you are particularly grateful for from this past weekend. Maybe something that you're looking forward to for this upcoming week. And I want you to just kind of ruminate on that good feeling that comes from thinking happy thoughts. Notice how maybe when you thought of something, the muscles in your face changed a little bit, maybe felt a little bit lighter. Your heart lit up a little bit when you thought about that thing that you're looking forward to this week. Let's take 2 more nice deep breaths right here. On your next big inhale, in whatever position you're in, I want you to kind of come in towards center. So if you're in child's pose, maybe you pull the arms in. If you're on your back, maybe you pull the knees in towards the chest and wrap the arms around with the head. So wherever you are, coming in towards your center, nice big inhale here. And then our exhale lengthens away from center. So lengthening nice and long, down onto the mat. Maybe you're on your belly if you were in child's pose, maybe you're lying on your back. One more inhale, lengthens a little bit more, big stretch, and then an exhale to release. From here, I want you to roll towards your favorite side if you're on your back. If you're on child's pose or on your belly, go ahead and bring it up to that seated position. And after you have brought it on up, go ahead, like I said, find that comfortable seat that we began in once again. Alrighty, so thank you, as always, so much for sharing your Monday evening with me. I so appreciated all of you being here. I really enjoy being here with you guys, and I definitely look forward to this every Monday and all week after that. The light in me honors the light in you, bringing your hands to heart center and bowing as we say namaste.